Let's get started. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Senior English Channel, where learning English is easy and fun. My name is Laura, and I'm really happy you're here with me today. In today's session, we're going to practice English in a very natural and enjoyable way. We'll follow a simple daily routine from morning to night, and along the way, you'll hear common English idioms that native speakers use every day. Here's how I'd like you to use this session. Just listen. Don't pause, don't stop. Let the English flow. You can repeat out loud if you want, or you can simply listen and let your ears get used to the sound. This is slow English, spoken clearly in a British accent. Daily routines are perfect for learning because you already understand the situation, and idioms are important because they help your English sound natural, relaxed, and real. When you hear idioms again and again in everyday situations, they start to stick. Try to watch this video or listen until the end. You don't need to understand every word, just follow the subtitles on the screen and watch for the highlighted words. I will put an arrow in certain places to give you a clue that there is an idiom, so please pay attention. Your homework is to find its meaning or simply comment, and I will create a full video to explain what it means with lots of examples. This session is useful if you have practiced English before. Beginners may find today's session slightly challenging, but don't worry, with practice, difficult things get easier. No rush, take your time. Come back to this video and practice daily. Fluency doesn't come from stopping and analyzing, it comes from daily exposure and consistency, not perfection. All right, get comfortable. Let's begin. Let's start with the morning. I wake up in the morning and lie in bed for a moment. I'm not in a rush. I like to start the day slowly and ease into the day. That means I don't move too quickly at first. I stretch my arms and take a deep breath. I want to start the day on the right foot, so I give myself a few quiet moments before getting up. Then I sit up, put my feet on the floor and get out of bed. I walk over to the window and open the curtains. The sky looks calm and light. It looks like it will be a decent day. Not perfect, but good enough. I head to the bathroom and splash some water on my face. That helps me wake up properly. I look in the mirror and think, all right, time to get going. After brushing my teeth and washing up, I dry off and walk into the kitchen. The house is quiet. I put the kettle on and wait for it to boil. While I'm waiting, I look out the window and watch the street come to life. Once the kettle boils, I make a cup of tea. Tea is really my cup of tea, so this part of the morning matters to me. I take a sip and feel more awake already. I make a simple breakfast and sit down at the table. I don't rush through it. I've learned that rushing around in the morning can throw me off for the rest of the day. As I eat, I think about what I need to do later. I don't overthink it. I just plan to take things one step at a time. That usually does the trick. When I've finished breakfast, I clear up the dishes and wipe the table down. I like to keep things tidy. It helps me keep a clear head. Then I go back to my room to get dressed. I pick out some clothes and put them on. Nothing fancy, just something comfortable that will do the job. Before I leave the house, I double-check that I have everything. Keys, phone, wallet. I don't want to turn back once I've left. I take one last look around the room, then head out the door. As I step outside, I take a deep breath. The day is officially underway, and that's how the morning begins. Now that the morning is underway, I start moving into the next part of the day. I feel more awake and my mind is clearer. I like to get down to business once the morning routine is finished. As I walk along the street, I see people heading in different directions. Everyone seems to be going about their day. Some look relaxed, others look busy. That's just how it goes. I arrive at my destination and step inside. I take a moment to settle in. That means I put my bag down, take off my jacket, and make myself comfortable before starting anything. Before I begin, I quickly go over what I need to do. I don't want to miss anything important. I like to have a plan, even if it's a simple one. I start with the easiest task first. That helps me get the ball rolling. Once I begin, everything feels easier. One small action leads to another. As I work, I try not to let small problems slow me down. If something doesn't work right away, I work through it instead of getting frustrated. I remind myself not to give up too quickly. Sometimes things don't go exactly as planned. When that happens, I try to stay calm and keep my cool. Getting upset never helps. As the late morning continues, I feel myself getting more focused. I'm in the zone, and time starts to pass more quickly. I don't notice the clock as much. If I finish one task, I move on to the next one. I don't stop to celebrate too early. I just keep going and stay on track. At some point, I notice I'm starting to feel a bit tired. When that happens, I don't push myself too hard. Instead, I take a short break. That usually helps me recharge. I stand up, stretch a little, and walk around. I might grab a glass of water. After a few minutes, I feel ready to get back to it. When I return, I look back at what I've done so far. I like to check things over to make sure everything looks right. If I spot a mistake, I sort it out and continue. As midday approaches, I start thinking about lunch. I can feel my energy running low. That's usually my signal to wrap things up for the morning. I finish the last task and tie up loose ends. That way I don't have to worry about them later. It helps me feel organized and relaxed. Before stopping, I make a note of what I need to do next. That saves time later and helps me stay organized. By the time I'm done, the morning has flown by. It's almost lunchtime now, and I feel like I've made good progress. That's the end of the late morning routine. By the time the afternoon starts, I'm ready for a change of pace. I like to take a break and step away for a moment before carrying on. That helps me clear my head. I stop what I'm doing and head out for lunch. I don't skip it because I know I need the energy to get through the rest of the day. I choose something simple and sit down to eat. While I eat, I try to switch off from work. I don't check messages. I don't think about tasks. I just enjoy the moment. That makes a big difference. After lunch, I don't rush straight back into work. I give myself a few minutes to ease back into it. Starting slowly helps me stay focused. When I sit down again, I pick up where I left off. I look at my notes and remind myself what needs to be done next. That way I don't feel lost. Some tasks take longer than expected. When that happens, I remind myself not to stress out. I just keep going and take it one step at a time. If something feels confusing, I break it down into smaller parts. That makes it easier to handle. Little by little, it starts to fall into place. As the afternoon goes on, I notice my energy changing. I'm not as fresh as I was in the morning, but I can still power through if I stay calm and focused. Sometimes I need to ask for help or look something up. That's not a problem. Everyone does it. It's all part of learning and working. When I finish a task, I like to tick it off my list. That small action helps me feel motivated and reminds me that I'm making progress. As the afternoon moves along, I start thinking ahead. I don't want to leave things until the last minute, so I try to deal with important tasks early. If something isn't urgent, I decide to put it off until tomorrow. That helps me manage my time better and not feel overwhelmed. When I notice I'm losing focus, I stand up and shake it off. I stretch, walk around, and take a few deep breaths. Then I'm ready to continue. Towards the end of the afternoon, I begin to wind things down. I finish what I'm doing and stop starting new tasks. That helps me avoid feeling rushed later. I take a moment to look back on what I've done during the day. I feel satisfied knowing I've done my best, even if everything isn't perfect. Before stopping, I get things ready for tomorrow. I organize my space and set things aside so the next day starts smoothly. By the time the afternoon ends, I feel tired but content. I've stayed focused, kept going, and seen the day through. That's the afternoon routine. As the afternoon comes to an end, I start to wrap things up. I don't rush, but I don't start anything new either. I like to finish the day calmly. I save my work, put things away, and call it a day. That means I stop working and allow myself to switch into evening mode. I stand up, stretch, and feel ready to leave. On the way home, I try to slow things down. I don't hurry. I let the busy part of the day fade away. The evening air helps me relax. When I arrive home, I step inside and kick off my shoes. I hang up my jacket and put my things down. It feels good to be home. I change into comfortable clothes and make myself at home. I sit down for a moment and take a deep breath. I can feel the tension slip away. Before dinner, I usually sort out a few small things. I might tidy up the room or clear up the kitchen a little. I like to keep things simple and relaxed. When it's time to eat, I put together a simple dinner. Nothing complicated. I don't want to make a big deal out of it. I just cook something easy and enjoyable. Once dinner is ready, I dish it up and sit down to eat. I slow down and enjoy the meal. I'm in no hurry now. After eating, I clear the table and wash up. I dry the dishes and put them away. Doing this right away helps me relax later. In the evening, I like to wind down. I might turn on the television and watch something light, or I might pick up a book and read a few pages. Sometimes I just sit quietly and think things over. I reflect on the day and let my thoughts settle. I don't judge myself, I just notice. If I feel tired, I take it easy. I don't push myself. The evening is a time to rest, not to rush. As the night goes on, I start feeling worn out. That's my signal to get ready for bed. I don't stay up too late because I know tomorrow will come quickly. I turn off the television, switch off the lights in the room, and head for the bathroom. I brush my teeth and wash up, getting ready to turn in. I change into night clothes and crawl into bed. I pull the blanket up and get comfortable. The day feels complete. Before sleeping, I think back on the day. I went through my routine, stayed consistent, and kept going even when things weren't easy. That feels good. The evening comes to a close, and I let myself rest. As the night gets quieter, I settle into bed and get comfortable. The lights are off, the room is calm, and the day feels complete. I take a deep breath and let everything wind down. I don't replay the whole day in my head. I don't beat myself up about things that didn't go perfectly. Instead, I remind myself that I showed up and did my best. That's what counts. I close my eyes and allow my thoughts to drift off. The house is quiet, outside sounds fade away. It feels good to finally call it a night. And that brings us to the end of today's session. All right, now let's take a moment together. Today, you practiced daily routine English with idioms that native speakers use all the time. You listened to real, natural English in a British accent, and you stayed with the session from start to finish. That's a big win. Remember, learning English isn't about doing everything perfectly. It's about showing up and keeping at it. Fluency doesn't come overnight. It comes from daily practice, little by little. This is why daily routines work so well. You already understand the situation, so you can focus on the language, and idioms help your English sound more natural, more relaxed, and more like a native speaker. Use this session as your slow English listening practice. Come back to it anytime. Listen again tomorrow. Listen again next week. Each time you do, things will start to sink in. Don't pause, don't stop. Just listen and let the English flow. Trust the process. Over time, you'll notice that speaking English feels easier and more natural. That's the magic of daily practice. So keep listening, keep practicing, and keep moving forward, one step at a time. Oh, and don't forget your homework. Hope you learned some useful idioms today. This is Laura. Thank you for learning English with me today. Come back tomorrow for more daily English practice. Bye for now.